Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Hayley.
After meeting online, we became international best friends who bonded over how hard it is to find success in the entertainment industry.
Join us and our celebrity co-authors as they help us write the book on how to make it.
And more importantly, uncover what making it even means.
Hi, my name is Hannah Solow, and I wanted to be a sea lion trainer when I grew up.
Amazing. Why?
Well, great question. I'm from Southern California,
Okay.
and my parents sent me to various camps in the summer, one of which was a sea lion rescue center, which was both camp and also just sort of job, where it was like, we are just cleaning up after the sea lions. I think we got to feed them, but I was like, this is incredible. What a life to have. And also, I was like, I am doing important work.
Yes. And then where did your dream die?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, I also once applied to be a junior lifeguard, which is also maybe sort of a California thing, but
Yeah.
it's like a lifeguard and training program, and you have to audition. Well, I guess they don't call it an audition. You have you have to test your swim skills, and you had to tread water for like 6 minutes, I think, as part of the test. And I got through like 3 minutes and was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
No.
So I think sort of I lost my water ocean dreams after that. I was like, I'll be
Okay.
on land. Okay.
For sure. And then how did you find your way to like ending up going to NYU for
That's
performing?
oof. I went to a performing arts high school in Orange County. I started out in the creative writing program, and then everyone was like, "You're loud and annoying." And I had auditioned for theater and didn't get in. But then I auditioned again, second time's a charm, got in. And so I've been doing theater for a really long time, and NYU felt like a natural.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I also say I literally today decided to pay off my final student loans, which
Hey,
we're celebrating now on the pod.
wow,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you. I kind of it was sort of like uh, not a panic decision, but I was just like, "You know what? I'm done with this. I don't want them to keep bothering me." And
The phone calls.
I'm grateful that I was able to pay it off today, but thank you, O'Mary. But yeah, I've been
Wow.
still sort of attending NYU for the past 10 years, actually. And also, I'm 22.
Wait,
Um,
yes, you graduated super young.
yeah, I'm a genius.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so then post NYU to where you are now, what is like a brief timeline of how we got to?
Brief. You got to stop me at some point. I'll talk forever.
No,
Brief.
that's okay. You've got a mic.
Considering I've got the mic, let's go. Again, I did graduate so recently. But no, I graduated NYU and I was like, I'm going to be on Broadway tomorrow. And then Broadway was like, "Girl, no." And I was tried auditioning for a long time and then was sort of like just really down and felt like no one cared about what I was doing and no one was going to hire me to be in a production of MAME in Vermont. And I was just like, what am I doing? So I started doing improv and comedy, and
Hmm.
that allowed me to have some sense of control and like, oh, I can be in charge of
Yeah.
my creativity. And then from there, I just kind of like did what I wanted for a while. And in a way, this sort of cliche of like, if you build it, they will come occurred. And like,
Hmm.
not even intentionally, it was just like friends that I made and people that I connected with have really helped me along the way. And like, my friend who saw me in a my musical improv show that I did weekly was like invited me to audition for the Oklahoma tour. And at that time I wasn't doing theater, but I was like, okay. And I got back into theater, and the casting director for Oh Mary, Henry Russell Bergstein, is someone that I literally did improv with 10 years ago. Like, we used to do musical improv together. And so it's really just been like a long time of doing what I love and like being around people that I love and believe in. And thankfully, those people believe in me too. And somehow I am here because of them. You know, it's like so bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I'm hoping it works out. Not that I end up on Broadway, but that somebody somewhere along the line that I've spoken to at some point.
It's true. I mean, and like, I feel like people are like, oh, like, like am so nervous around like hustle culture and like I'm
Yeah.
so bad at like schmoozing and that makes me so nervous and I'm always like like actually sort of shy in some ways, which feels like no one can believe that. But like I, I guess it's just like I always tried to be around people I liked and were doing cool things and who I like genuinely
Hmm.
admire. And like thankfully those people have really been so kind to me and somehow helped me. You know, it's just like I'm still sort of baffled by it in a way. I don't know.
It's a good, I mean, nobody who whose like work I've seen that I've really loved was like, well, I had this plan and this was exactly at point four. Like the it's
Totally.
usually like I was doing something with like people and we were having a good time and
Yeah.
that led to yeah.
And thank goodness. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if it was just like, well, I'm miserable and then here I am and this thing I made is miserable. I feel like people pick up on that too, you know?
Yeah. Well, the next I can take your Oklahoma, actually no, I'm going to take your musical improv bit into the next section, which is just two facts about you, two random facts. One is you were doing your song a day um bit, and I love the bird flu one.
Thank
I
you.
and I had a conversation with someone about it last night because I had a friend visiting from LA, and we walked around my block. I live
Yeah.
in New Jersey, like 40 minutes outside Manhattan, and there's been a lot of dead birds.
No, don't. I felt that you were going to say that and I'm scared.
I said, and she was like, "It's so weird. We saw like two dead birds," and I was like, "Let me show you this song."
Sort of a warning.
And then suddenly we're on Google, like looking up, like, what does this mean?
What does it mean? Did you find out anything?
So I do know back in like 2020, 2021, like when everyone was in isolation, people were reporting more dead birds. And then animal control was like, you're just not used to being home and kind of seeing the
Oh.
cycle of nature. But it's 2025. So I'm like,
We're out. I think, well, they always are like, birds just be running into buildings. They're always just hitting their heads on windows. So that's what I'm going to believe. But also, we need some kind of monitor for the bird flu. I can't be worrying about that. As I said in the song, I cannot be worrying about it. Someone else needs to be worrying about it for us.
well, I guess I'll just lead into a question then of where did that idea come from? The not the bird flu, but the songs in general.
I am sort of annoying, I guess, and constantly doing bits around my house. And generally, when I'm posting a video, it's because I've done that bit as a joke in my home for my partner to anyone who's listening. And then I'm like, wait, this is kind of funny. Like, should we do something about this? And also it comes from a genuine place of anxiety because I was reading so much about the bird flu and like literally Googling, like, do I need to care about this? Like, please someone tell me, like, what should I do? And I have two cats. And then I was like, what if they bring, I mean, they don't even go outside, but obviously I'm insane, and was like, well, what if I bring the bird flu in and then they get the bird flu? Can you get it through the window being open, the screen?
Well, another one of my favorites is the hot piss on the sidewalk song. That's
And that comes from true life, being
it.
outside, being like, oh my God, it smells like piss everywhere.
Yep.
Yesterday, I was like, did someone pee directly outside of the stage door of Oh Mary? And honestly, it's possible, yes.
Probably,
Times Square
yeah.
is lawless.
Yeah, Times Square. I have friends visiting right now, and they were like, "Oh, we haven't gone to Times Square," and I was like, "Go see a Broadway play, but you don't have to like walk through that."
No, no, like sort of I come from the 6th Avenue side, which I feel like is safer because
Yeah,
when you get right in the center, it's a nightmare. Sorry. Love New York. Yay. But also
but it's not New York's like. It's not like we're saying it about like some neighborhood that's like it's like the Vegas Strip.
totally.
Well, I'm gonna go to the second fact, which is I have your resume in front of me.
Uh-oh.
And to your special skills
I'm scared.
says you can sing with your mouth closed. Is that true?
Yes, I really thought that everyone could do this.
No.
Okay, wait. Can you not do it? Wait, let me see. What should I sing? What's a hot song right now, you know?
You're asking the wrong person.
Okay. This is Chapel Run. You can take your heart to go. I
It's
can do.
true.
How do I? It's like what? How do I monetize this? What do you do with this skill?
Become a ventriloquist?
I guess that's kind of the only option.
Oh my god, no. So you know how sometimes people put like funny things on their like put your personality in your resume. So I didn't know if this was like a funny thing
No,
next to your Liza Minnelli impersonation.
I honestly forgot that I had those on my resume, and I feel like when you put stuff on it, you're like, oh, I hope someone asks me like in an audition to do it.
Oh,
And so thankfully you did. But also like it's like what am I gonna do? You can't put singing with your mouth closed really on stage.
well, it made me. But your personality comes through
That's
in
true.
the
That's true.
in the
She's
special.
goofy. She's goofy,
Yeah.
girl.
So if you want, I'll just cut that clip and we can put it on the internet and see where it takes you.
See where it takes us. That's so true. Thank you. You're my manager now.
Great, a job in the industry. Yay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll move us forward. I did want to ask you, you're someone who like people I've never had the experience of going to see a play for a particular understudy, but I've seen, a lot of people go to see you, and I'm wondering what that feels like.
Wow, it feels so insane, and I when I first performed the role of Mary for Cole, when Cole was out, I
Hmm.
was so nervous, and it was the first time anyone was going to play the part besides Cole, and I was genuinely afraid that no one would come. I was like, I'm afraid that I'm going to go out and look into the audience and there's not going to be anyone there. And I was so like genuinely moved and overwhelmed that people came and like laughed. And since then, it's been overwhelmed. I actually can't feel the true feelings because I think I would explode and
Oh,
sob crying. But like, I'm just so honored and touched that people come, and I just care about it so
yeah.
much that it like really moves me that people also care. And it's a long-winded way of saying like I just can't believe it, and I'm so honored, and like I work so hard
Yeah.
to make sure that people have a good time, because I know that there is like this um what's the word? It's hard to say. There's like, I don't know, you see the understudy slip in the playbill, and people have feelings around that. So I just am like honored that people are willing to take a chance on me and like see what I have to say and do.
Well, I don't recommend going on Reddit ever when it's in relation to you, but I'll tell you that there are a lot of good
Oh, that's good. I did it once and it was a real nightmare. And I literally seconds later emailed my therapist being like, this is a cry for help. I went on Reddit. Please, please help me. I'm never doing it again.
I just
But
interviewed my friend. We had my friend Ryan on towards the beginning of this podcast, and then we just had him as a repeat guest. And he's a big YouTube guy, and so he has so many subreddits about him. And he was like, I can't go on. And I was like, why would you ever go on for
no.
yourself? So I went on and I like tried to find the nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was 99%, and then
Totally. It
someone where you're
always
like,
is.
then the someone who's like not you like spelling things correctly and like using zeros for O's, and you're like, this person's already
Mm-hmm.
not good. But there's so many nice things about you and
Mm.
people going back to see you and like all this stuff. So um
That's
yeah, it
so
is.
nice. Like
Yeah.
I'm truly just like, it was so, I was so scared for so much
Yeah.
of the beginning of this. And I'm so glad I'm at a point also where I'm like, no, I know I'm doing a good job. And I'm so glad that people see that and like acknowledge that. But also I'm like, to the people that don't like it, I'm like, okay, it's fine.
I told you when I accosted you on the street in Tribeca that
We were in
I've
Tribeca.
been trying to come see you on one of the days that you're on the sketch. I just moved back from Los Angeles like a year ago after
Oh.
10 years there.
Oh my gosh.
I'm from here. I went there and then I was like, I need to leave. And so but I'm just getting back into seeing obviously Broadway shows. So I've only ever seen I think I've only ever seen one understudy, but I loved it because it was the original cast of Wicked, and it ended up being, I think it was Megan Hilty who was Kristen Chenoweth's understudy.
Stop.
So
That's history. That's theater history.
so yeah, it was like I've had a positive experience with it, so I don't have that. And then I just saw her in Death Becomes Her, which oh my god,
Unbelievable.
I'm going again. I'm taking my mom. I'm like, we have to
Absolutely,
drop what
as
you're doing.
you should. Geniuses all around. Everyone, the writers, creative team, actors, musicians, everyone.
It was so good. Oh, can you hear it? This is one thing about being in suburbia. There's just guys with leaf blowers.
You know what's funny is in my mind, I was like, oh, it sounds like LA to me. Because anytime I'm on the phone with someone from LA, they're like, I'm walking through. And I'm like, everyone's gardening. There's always a leaf blower.
But they just, do you know Subway Takes?
Yes.
So Kate Blanchett was on and she was like, death to the leaf blowers.
Oh my gosh.
Because everyone's just blowing everything into somebody else.
Where are they going? Where are the leaves going? My neighbor sweeps every single day. And she's a gorgeous, like 70-something-year-old Italian woman. And it's like, girl, you're just sweeping it into the street and then it's going to blow back into your yard.
Where do you live?
I live in Brooklyn.
Okay.
It's good though. She gets out. She gets to chat with everyone. I love her too. She's truly insane.
So it's
shout
more
out to
like,
her.
She's definitely been a long time listener.
She's listening.
She's a big fan.
She knows how to use technology for sure.
She's good with broom.
Yeah.
They're actually cutting our grass, so I guess I can't be.
Oh, thank you.
Can't be too mad. I should have scheduled around. Anyway, apologize.
No.
So you've gone on tour and done a touring show. What is I know the biggest difference is that you're touring, but like in terms of the performances, is there anything that's like feels super different to being in the same theater as versus switching, or once you get on stage, are you kind of like no matter where you are in the mode of the play, or do you find that different stages take you?
No, that's actually a really good question. I was talking about it last night.
Oh,
because it's sort of an interesting way to do a show that many times, because you're doing 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
But then every 2 weeks, you're traveling, going to a new place, doing a
Mhm.
sound check in a new theater,
Yeah.
exploring a new theater. So it sort of like breaks it up in a little bit of a way. Whereas
Yeah.
like on Broadway, you're like, wow, we've done 100 shows, and it's
Yeah.
always we're here like in and out, clocking in and out. But on tour, it feels like every time you change locations, it's like, ooh, this is different, and oh, my dressing room's over here, and there's stairs down. This is
Yeah.
on stage left. So it kind of makes it fun, and I actually loved touring because of that. It felt like it was exciting to move
Mhm.
locations and like new problems to solve, and
Yeah.
setting up your dressing room in a new place. It was always really fun, and you also work with the local crew, so then you were like meeting new people, and someone else was doing your hair in Texas. It just
Mhm.
like sort of spiced things up in a fun way. Also, we specifically with Oklahoma, like depending on where we were, we had a very different reception from the audience. So
Okay.
it really was like, oh, okay. And Oklahoma, the state, did not love us.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
they feel a very close connection with the original source material, and they
Oh,
were
this was
upset.
off the original
So
source
this
material?
was the revival of Oklahoma, directed by Daniel Fish, which some people refer to as the sexy Oklahoma.
Oh.
And some people were upset by the choices that we made.
Okay.
People being like, there's women in pants, they should be wearing full dresses, which it's like, okay, girly. I think a lot of them didn't read the emails and then showed up and they were like, I brought my 5-year-old, and it's like, girl, we told you that this was 13 and up, and now you're upset because there's like some gay undertones. Let the children learn.
Yeah, and can I just say, I was exposed to Oklahoma at too young an age. I was
Judd, it's scary. There's some scary stuff.
Yes, so my parents took me to see it on Broadway
Mm-hmm.
in whatever year it was on Broadway in the 90s or
I
early 2000s.
wonder, was that Hugh Jackman? No, maybe he was later.
Do you know I just saw I just saw Hugh Jackman's show
You
at
went
Rock.
to Radio City?
Yes. It was amazing.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I've watched some clips online of him like doing what was it? A
He was
jump
jump
rope? Yeah.
roping to the Backstreet Boys. It was very like I'd say the average age was 60,
Totally.
and so it was a very gentle, mom and grandma friendly. He was literally picking up people's young kids, and then there were women, I guess, like if you follow this kind of thing, like I'd know this maybe for a band that I like, but if you're in the VIP section, like he spends a lot of time there. So taking
Oh.
people's phones, it was
Stop.
like, and then like, yeah, it
People
was
sobbing, I'm sure. Women crying.
very much so.
That's powerful. He knows his audience, and he's
Yes.
going to give them what they want.
And the charisma was like, if he had said, hey, everyone, meet me out back and we're going to go make a cult and live on it, like
Yeah.
everybody would have.
I just remembered that we met him backstage at O'Mary, and he was someone that I was like, oh, like obviously he's an amazing performer, but I wasn't like so jazzed to
Yeah.
meet him. I mean, no, that's mean to say. It's not that I wasn't jazzed. I guess what I'm trying to say is when I met him, I was literally like exactly what you're saying. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll follow you into the river. Like
Yes.
he was so charming in person, and he also looked amazing in
Yeah.
person, where I was like, what witchcraft are you doing? He just knew like what to say, what to wear, and I was like, that's a movie star.
He did sing a song from Oklahoma.
Of course.
And yeah, I just remember, isn't there a character that like is abusive to his what, like, or mean to his wife, or like is there like some sort of violence towards
Judd
someone?
Fry is sort of this like farmhand who is sort of sullen, living in this dark,
Yeah.
dank farmhouse. There's some questionable acts, yeah.
And so
And it's scary.
I was like really uncomfortable.
Yeah, gun violence is frightening.
Not as uncomfortable as when they took me to see Cats for my 6th birthday.
Oh my God, wait, I also saw Cats when I was like 4 or 5, and they
Yeah.
came in the audience and they touched my face. I loved it. But see, that's ultimately where our paths diverge.
Do you know what I didn't like? One, Cats there's no story, so it's
Totally.
when you're 6, you're like, I don't know what's going on. The thing I didn't like was during intermission, they're like walking, and it's like you could go meet a cat, but all I could see was like this man's junk in his spandex.
Stop.
And so
You were
that's
scared.
what I didn't like.
As a child, you were scared of that.
I was afraid. I didn't like that I could see the anatomy.
Because also you were like, this isn't a cat. That's a person dressed up as a cat. I don't get it.
But
what are they doing?
The first thing I wanted to be when I grew up was a cat.
Oh.
So they were like,
so you didn't see it and think like, wow, this is possible for me.
No, I didn't want it anymore.
That's good though. It sort of shattered your dreams very quickly.
I don't want to wear spandex ever. This whole trend with the leggings, I've never been on board.
Why would you? It's uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable.
No.
Oh, I got leggings the other day for the millionth time. I was like, let's try this again. Every year we're going to try it again. And I was standing in the mirror and I was like, they look good, but like, where am I going?
Yeah, I know. I worked at Lululemon for a really long time, and I went through the full phase. I mean, let me tell you, I was wearing leggings every day for years. But now I've come back around where I'm like, wait, what was I doing? And I was like sometimes going to the gym, but other times just not.
Saved you a lot of money.
Exactly. Oh my God.
That was the other thing. I was like, I can't.
The discount was gorgeous.
Oh.
At the time.
Yeah, I guess that makes it worth it. I would do damage. They came out with a Disney collection.
Who?
Lululemon? Yeah.
Wow.
Couldn't go near that thing. Anyway. So I'm going to move us on to a section called The Story, which is any moment in your career journey up until this point where you're in a predicament or a situation and you're just going, you kind of like step outside the industry and you go, what the heck am I doing? Like I can give you a couple examples. We've had an actress whose pants ripped during a scene. Donnie Wahlberg, when he first started New Kids on the Block, like performed in prisons. Just any moment that you're kind of like, I'm doing this all for the pursuit of this thing, but this feels so crazy.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, there's probably multiple moments, which is both horrifying and perhaps inspiring. I don't know.
Yes, that's the point.
I'm like, oh, yikes. Why can I think of a lot? I'm immediately drawn to, I did a workshop of Junie B. Jones, which is a children's book that they turned into a musical.
Love Junie B. Jones.
Absolutely. Junie, it was called Junie B's Essential Survival Guide. I think it probably still tours.
On your resume, Junie B's
probably should take it off.
Survival Guide. You played May.
I played May, and I also played like various other characters. Like at one point, I was dressed as a bull. I sort of have that memory, and this company was a theater company for kids, and they would tour. But we weren't touring. We were just doing a very short workshop of it and going to like New Jersey, I think, to test it out for an audience of school kids. And my character at one point was sort of a bully to Junie. And we had like driven to New Jersey at like 6 a.m. Part of the thing is that you have to like help build the sets. So we had built the set. We're in like a school. The dressing room is like a classroom. I think at that time I had a UTI. Apologies if
Oh.
that's TMI, but I just remember the girl playing Junie being like, I have this essential oil. You should put the essential oil on a tampon
Oh
and
my god.
put it. Sorry if this is too graphic. And put it
No.
in. And I was like, okay, like sure. I just like literally. It's like 6 a.m. in New Jersey. We're about to perform for hundreds of school kids. I'm like, I'll do anything. We go out on stage. The kids are rowdy, rambunctious, and sometimes they're loving it. Other times they're just full voice talking to each other. My character, who's the bully, immediately they're booing me. I'm being booed by hundreds of kids, and I'm like not even able to get through the lines. And it's like, okay, fine, I'm the bully, whatever. Boo me once. I'm like, what do I do? And at that point, I was like, what is the point of this? When booing reaches a point where you're like, okay, now you're not booing the character, you're booing me, and I'm fragile, and now I'm taking this personally. And I was like, what is the point of this? And that show was actually so difficult. For some reason, it literally made me stop doing theater for a little while because it was just like such a traumatic time. The rehearsals, everyone was stressed. It was like everyone was under pressure, and just it manifested in crazy ways. And I was just like, what am I doing performing in New Jersey for hundreds of children booing me? This is what I went to school for. This is what I wanted. That was a moment of questioning, I'll say. And then like to get in the van afterwards and like drive back to my sublet in Astoria, where I had recently sublet it to someone else who stole all my clothes. I was like, this ain't it, this ain't it.
But I guess the question on everyone's mind, did the tampon work?
I guess I made it through the show. I wouldn't medically recommend it. I am not a doctor, but Google it, I guess, and see what. I haven't done it since. So I don't know. Some people are really into putting things, garlic. I don't know. I've heard that from someone else. And I was
No
like, I'm
way.
not doing that.
Ouch.
It feels wrong. Again, not a doctor. Do not listen to us.
Okay.
I have
great.
a BFA.
That you just paid off.
Yeah, thankfully. So now it's official.
Yes, now you
Finally.
get your diploma.
Yeah, they're gonna mail it to me.
There should be someone there any minute.
Fingers crossed.
I also have to ask, what is that behind you? Is that a cello or a fan?
Great question. It is an upright bass. I don't play it. It's my partner's.
Wow.
Yeah.
So many possibilities for that green screen and that.
Oh yeah. I wish I could figure out how to move the camera, but I'm afraid to. But there's like a whole wall of synths to my left as well, and guitars and all that stuff.
What does
I force him. He's a composer, so I force him to help me with all of my stuff. He's the one who does the music, and it's like literally me being like, so it's like about the bird flu, and I want it to be like, do it. And then he's like, okay, but he makes it actually sound legit.
What does he do composing for?
He does like film, TV. He used to do a lot of commercial work, and then he still does some commercial work, but he worked in a post-production house. Then now he's freelance and is trying to do more film and TV. But also like, what are we doing out here?
Composers are like my like I just had Theodore Shapiro on the podcast. He does Severance.
That's crazy.
And like Devil Wears Prada and all that stuff. And I
oh my god,
have never. I like all the footage is me like
it's like magic.
That's what I said. I like went on this long rant and I probably made him so uncomfortable. And then at the end he was like, I'm gonna go tell my kids that you called me superhero.
Oh my gosh. See, I feel like he probably doesn't get, people aren't like fangirling him on the street.
Wow.
As you should. When it all comes together, it is like magic. And it's like, how did you do? Because like, I feel the same way about dance. I don't have like that skill set. So when someone has that high level of skills, I'm like, how did you manage that?
It's the one thing in the industry that I can fully enjoy and love and know
Mm,
that I have no part in, like, I can just enjoy it and there's no networking that needs to happen and there's no
yeah.
like I'm like I'm just going to let you do your thing.
That's so nice though, because I feel like you have so much stuff where it's like my family's always like, "Can't you just watch a movie?"
No. What is that?
I know. It's tragic. It's so tragic.
Anyway, my next question for you is
Okay.
if you had to do or define what the phrase making it means. And
Oh
that could
my
be
gosh.
in life or in work, but when you hear people say I've made it or I'm in your definition, what would be making it or has been?
Oh my gosh. I feel like that idea of making it is constantly being redefined for me.
Mhm.
And if you had asked me 10 years ago, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, if you'd asked me 1 year ago, I think the definition would have changed. But I think right now, I feel confident that making it is really ultimately being proud of the work that you're producing. And for me, it is maybe capitalism is rotting my brain. I mean, I know it is, but I'm just so proud and like thrilled to make money
Yeah.
doing this thing that I want to be doing. And also, specifically, right now, I feel so lucky to be making money from something that I genuinely believe in
Yeah.
and that I think is really good and care about so deeply. I feel like I've made it in that way where like that has always been my dream, to be like doing something silly and fun with my friends and getting paid for it. Like that's crazy to me that I actually get to do that. And I would love to make $1 bajillion doing Jurassic Park 17 for sure. So like I'm not saying I'm opposed if they're listening. But and I will play the dinosaur, but I think like to feel creatively fulfilled is like sort of my priority,
Yeah.
but I have to like be real and be like, wow, it's so nice to have money at the same time as being creatively fulfilled.
Yes. I feel like it's such a rarity.
It's so rare. Oh my gosh. I again, I'm like so lucky and feel still like baffled that they give me money and like I get to be in a show on Broadway and then like sometimes I'm performing and then other times I'm like eating candy in my dressing room and hanging out with my friend Julian. Like it's just wild to me that they allow this. I'm like, are you
Hopefully
sure?
doesn't no one's going to find out.
Truly constantly I'm like, are you sure? You know you're sending me the checks. But here we are.
What do you think it is about the show that like has kept it, extended through this, extended through this, extended through this date?
I mean, it's so insane. Like when we started, we thought it was going to be like a summer job for like 8 weeks. I think it really is everyone who's worked on the show really cares about it so deeply
Yeah.
and has such a deep love for the show and a deep love for theater and theater making. And on top of all of that, Cole and our director Sam, it was never for anyone else. It was always like what is
Right.
making us laugh. And like Cole was very adamant about like not wanting a long development process. Like it was what Cole wanted. And like I think that is just so inspiring to be like, no, Cole knew what they wanted to do and like
Hmm.
set out to do it. And also, our producers were like, yes, we believe in your vision and like, we're going to let you show the world this thing that you've created. And I think people like see that, it's like you can tell when there is no vision or perspective in
Yeah.
theater or like no love for it. And I just think like audiences are smart, and you see a show and you're like, wait, they didn't, why did they say yes to this? They have no,
Yeah.
they're not asking any questions. There's no perspective here. There was no idea other than like, let's do X show and this theater is open and we'll get X celebrity.
Yes.
Like, that's okay if that is the initial idea, but can we continue and ask some more questions after that, I guess?
Yeah, that's I think what impressed me so much with Death Becomes Her is it's such a grand scale version of people loving theater. You'd think like, oh, if it gets
100%.
this big, it's gonna lose its, but it's like so camp that it's like a Broadway play of a Broadway play.
Literally. And also like, this is an example of like, yes, these are like ideas that the ideas are there, and if you add money, it's just going to enhance those
Yeah.
ideas. But we're not just like adding money for the sake of money to something that has like no foundation.
I think my friend recently said something I thought was interesting is that she's seen a couple plays that um she had seen before off Broadway and has liked off Broadway better. And I asked why,
Mm,
and she said some plays just need to be in a small, like intimate space. And they think, oh, if we add more space or add more size, like it'll be grander. But that's not always the case. And that it
mhm.
lost its intimacy in a lot of ways and became like this commercialized version of something that didn't need to be.
Totally, totally. I think everyone was afraid that was going to happen with Oh Mary, but thankfully, like, we found the right theater. We literally kept the same set. Like, it was just like, no, we're going to keep the like roots and what matters about this play and the heart of this play. And it actually kind of filled out the theater
Well,
more in a
it's
way.
not a quiet, it's not a,
Yeah.
no one's being having trying to have an intimate and quiet moment. It's very
No,
grand.
no.
So
Yeah.
you fill the space.
Mary needs a big stage. It's true. It's true. I guess like, especially with it, like what you're saying, it really makes me just ask like, well, why? Why are we doing this? Why is this transferring? Why are we making the X decisions? Like, when there is no why, I feel like sometimes you don't know what feels wrong or what that disconnect is, but you do have that sense of like, something isn't connecting for me here. And I think it's because there's no why.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, I don't know. I'm now on my soapbox, but
But you get those, it's I feel like it's such a movie trope or a TV trope where the crazy director who has like their vision and then it's like gobbledygook. So I guess you just have to find one whose vision is actually like they're just as passionate but not insane.
it's true. It's like you have to have the vision, but also you have to be able to communicate the vision to the audience, which is
Yeah.
such a difficult job. And I feel like sometimes you'll see shows where you're like, oh, I know that director had a really amazing vision and they probably had such clear ideas in rehearsal, and everyone who is in the rehearsal and knows the backstory behind everything totally gets it, but it doesn't translate to the audience because they weren't in the rehearsal and didn't hear why
Right.
you're doing this thing. It's so hard. Directing is hard. Theater is so hard.
It
But
is
that's what
so.
makes it so magical, I guess. When it works, it's like, holy cow, they did it.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, and it's always hard when you throw in like a well-known like already a celebrity because then people are I think the one person who I like the biggest celebrity that I've seen in a role that they became that character and I wasn't
Mm,
like which is
that
hard to do
is
is
right.
Daniel Radcliffe. I've seen him in a few things and I'm just like
So good.
talk about someone who could you could just stand there and be like that's Harry Potter,
Right.
but it's not like that
That's
at
so
all.
true. I wonder why that is. I mean, he's just so committed, and like
Yes, he's not
he's so
afraid to be he's not standing up there going that's
right.
right. Like him and How to Succeed in Business is like one of my favorite.
He was so good.
He was
He
so
wa
good.
He's so good, and we met him, name drop, we met him, but he was so nice and normal, and I feel like that's also why he is so good, because he has,
Mhm.
like, no ego. He's like, "I'm here to just do the work, do my job, and, like, I have a normal life outside of this, and, like, I'm just a person who, like, loves theater."
Yeah. Shout out to Daniel
Shout out to Daniel Radcliffe. We know you're listening.
He was our first listener, right before your neighbor.
I
Um,
love my fans. Thank you.
uh, so Hannah, if you had to give a title as if it were a chapter in a book,
Okay.
um, that sums up your career journey so far, what would that be? And again, I can give you examples of previous if you'd like.
I don't know why the first thing that came into my head was, well, here we are.
That's great. That's great.
I think, like, I had so many ideas of how my career was going to go, and I had so many benchmarks that thought I was going to meet. And especially when I worked at Lululemon, we had all these goal setting workshops, and I
Yeah.
look back at these goals that I made where it was like, I am going to win a Tony by the year 2016. And, like, years passed and the goals weren't met. And it was just like that, like, recalibrating. But ultimately, we're here. Well, we're here
That's great.
and
I
happy to
love
be
it.
here.
I love it. And you're like one of the first people who's come up with an answer in less than 45 minutes of going, wait, can you repeat? What?
First
You?
thought, best thought. You got to just let the impulses fly.
Yes. It was perfect. It wasn't self-aware and yeah,
No.
it was great. It was great.
I'm glad. Whew.
To wrap up, and it's okay if you don't have one, but can you think of a worst piece of advice for someone who wants to be on Broadway? Like something you'd hear and you'd go, that is a terrible, like the person's trying to give good advice and it's just,
This is a really good question. This is maybe controversial, but I think the blanket of the blanket advice of don't quit is false.
I would agree.
I think if you want to give up, if you want to quit, you are absolutely allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And if you have any inkling of guilt or shame, get rid of it. No one is going to be mad at you. I have so many talented friends that are so brave and listened to their hearts and minds and said, this isn't for me anymore. I actually don't need to be doing this. And they left the business, and, like, thank goodness for that. And they didn't continue on because they felt like they had to, or because we went to school for this. I just, like, I feel like there's this narrative of, like, well, it's hard and you got to just slog through and do it. And it's like, you really don't.
Yeah.
And if it's not bringing you joy, and even if you want to step away for a little bit, you can always come back, and, like, it will be here. Jeff Hiller, who's someone I love and admire and who has been so inspirational to me in my career, has always said, in the context of improv and in life, follow your bliss. And, like, you have to follow your bliss. And if it's not bringing you joy, you are allowed to say, wait a second, this isn't what I signed up for.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
No,
like,
that's a good one.
yeah, I get so sad when I see people unhappy. I guess it's like we are literally doing make 'em ups and silly stuff. Like, it's supposed to be fun, and I understand that is, like, a trite way of viewing it, and I know it's so hard, and I have cried so many times and still cry and feel insane, but you gotta do what you love.
Maybe you were that star in high school or college, and then you're like, well, why, and then you're like, wait, I'd like to be able to buy a house at some point, or I want to have kids, or I want, and then if that becomes your like more important, I think people have a really hard time. And there's nothing like, talk about making bad art or things that you're like, what went wrong, is like those are people who are like, I guess this is what I'm doing. Like,
Totally.
they're not very happy.
Right, right. Especially just right now, it's like you gotta do stuff that makes you happy.
Yeah.
And also, like, there are so many ways to feel creatively fulfilled that aren't commercial outlets. Like, that's why I make my own songs and I do improv and I write stuff with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
because that is something that brings me joy and that I am able to lead
Yeah, you
myself
can
and
control it. Yeah.
control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I've my dream when I was a kid, at one point was to be on Broadway, and I've like done it, and it's like unbelievable and insane and amazing. But I also like recognize that there are so many other ways to make theater and to
Yeah.
be an artist and to be creative.
Yeah. Good answer.
Woo!
You did say you hoped to say something inspiring, and you said
Oh my
many
god.
things
Oh
that were
my
inspiring.
gosh. I know
So,
nothing. I literally know nothing. That's the other thing, is I'm always like, how did I get here? How I feel unqualified to give advice, because I'm like, girl, I'm still figuring it out. I need advice,
well,
you
that's how
know?
I feel when I'm in New York and someone asks me for directions. I'm just like, I throw my hands up, but I'm like, I'm not here.
you
Don't,
you didn't see me.
nope. Well, I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
It's super fun.
I hope we run into each other on the street again.
I'm so sorry.
No, it was
Uh,
amazing. That was actually an insane day. That's for another episode of the podcast.
oh no. Yeah, that was the start of me deciding I could be a red carpet correspondent at Tribeca Film Festival. that was
Absolutely.
that was a very long 10 days of me running around with a little suitcase, like looking like a missionary, and yeah,
But you did it?
I did it. I got to interview like Mark Maron and Josh Gad and
Holy cow.
Sebastian Maniscalco, and um whether or not they remember it is
I'm
another
sure.
thing.
You are memorable.
Well, yeah, I had the same facial expression as I did when I saw you. I was just like, to the point where Mark Maron was like, "Are you okay?" And I
Stop.
and I said, I was like, "I'm just looking to make sure that there's carpet, because if I faint, like I want to not hit my head on the curb." And he was like, "I'll catch you." And I was like, "Okay."
Okay, you did it. You made it.
And then and then I packed up my Amazon microphones and I
Shout
got
out.
back on the boat.
The boat?
Yes, to New Jersey.
Do you take the boat?
I take the boat.
That's so cool.
It is pretty cool. Every time I'm there on the boat, oopsie. Like I called my mom. I've been taking the boat since went to see cats when I was 6. And I called my mom after I got off the other day, and I was like, "We can get on a boat and be in the greatest city in the world in 40 minutes."
This is what our ancestors dreamed of. Okay.
Well, I pass the Statue of Liberty every time, and I'm like, I know I don't feel exactly the same way, but it's still pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, it's just cool to be able to be like, sorry, my boat's here. Gotta go.
Have I used that a couple of times? Or I've been like, oh my God, all the other ones for the rest of the day are canceled. I have to leave now.
Relying on a boat is really wild.
Yeah.
I love that for you. This is amazing lore.
Yes, I'm an honorary pirate, which,
Yes.
like, but the Disney version, not like the scary,
Totally.
murderous.
No. You're Smee? Is he's a pirate?
And he doesn't die, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Hard worker.
He loves a wide leg pant and horizontal stripes.
A crop top.
Yes.
That's you.